The top list no one is talking about in wholesaling real estate. Guys, it's Rick Ginn, and today's video, I'm going to share a list you probably have rarely ever heard. And I don't know why nobody else talks about it, but it's always been a staple of our business, and I want to share it with you today. But before I get into it, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share this video with anyone who has interest in wholesaling. So guys, we all know the most common list, the vacants, the pre-foreclosures, the code violations, and obviously the probates. And I could go on, and if you want to learn all about these lists, go over to freewholesaling.com. Me and Zach just pull the veil back. It's 100% free, and we show you how to get the best government list possible. In fact, we've even coined the phrase government list, because nobody else wants to talk about it because they can't find a way to make people pay for it. But the reality is, where there's smoke, there's fire, and those are usually the best lists. But what I want to do is talk about a completely uncommon list that nobody really ever even talks about. Now, it's not the easiest list to get, but man, is it loaded with motivated sellers. And if you're overlooking this list, I want you to follow the instructions and take note and see how you can utilize this for your wholesaling business. Now, this list is not managed by the government at all. It's actually a private list. So you're going to have to respect and earn these lists. They won't be the easiest to get, but I promise you get these lists, nobody else has them. And when I say nobody, I mean nobody. You and a few other select employees that own it. And let's just cut to the chase. Let me share it with you. So we all know what a tired landlord list is. They're landlords that own a bunch of property. They typically will hire out a company to manage these properties. And these are known as property management companies. I want you to understand the dynamics, how property management works. Now, I utilize them as well, and I have my own in-house managers. But in the beginning, I relied heavily on property managers. And all property managers are, so you understand, they're real estate agents. And the fact is, it's usually an entry-level job, somebody just getting their license, typically on the younger side, or the opposite, towards the end of their career. And they manage a book of business for a real estate brokerage. Now, before you start judging them, I want you to understand this. It's actually brilliant. By doing property management, they get an inside track on landlords that own property, and for a fee, usually around 10, sometimes 12%, kind of give what you pay for in these, they will manage the rental. If a property brings in $15,000 in income, they get 10% of that, which would be $1,500. And so the only way they can make this work is, you guessed it, volume, volume, volume. Now, in my little town where I started out a lot of my wholesaling in South Florida, particularly in Port St. Lucie, we are inundated with rental properties. In fact, in 2025, there's more rental properties than ever. There's more interest in investing in real estate. And this is why nobody ever talks about this list. So we have property management companies. We know they need volume. We know they're licensed real estate agents. You're thinking, okay, well, $1,500 is not a ton of money. Well, it is, because the average office is going to have anywhere, a small office will have like 250. And a big office can have 500 up to 1,000 properties. Do the math on it. And they're typically run by basically in-house employees that are paid an hourly rate or basically a minimal salary. And then they're there to service these clients. Why? It brings people in the door who own properties. And at some point, people are always going to buy and sell a property. And good real estate brokers understand that this is a lead magnet, what we call a lead funnel. And this is why they have property management. Now, property management, in my opinion, is a major headache. It is a lot of work. You see, the property manager has to communicate with the tenants. They have to vet them. They have to run background checks. They have to collect deposits. They have to collect monthly rentals. They got to send out late notices. They have to send out legal notices. And often they have to refer to lawyers on trash properties or people that aren't paying their rent. And on top of that, they got to communicate this with the landlords. And when landlords own a lot of property, they can be quite difficult. In fact, I have sat in these offices and listened to the arguments. And often the employees go, listen, the landlord just won't put any money in this house. He keeps pushing the $2,000 a month rent. We're having major problems trying to rent these properties. And often they'll let dogs in it, big dogs, to kind of push it. There's some landlords that just never look at their properties. And these poor property managers are trying to tell them you got to put money into it for me to get you the retail rental rate, but you won't put any money into it. And eventually these properties get run down. They don't paint them. They don't take care of the gutters. They don't take care of the roof. Guess what? At some point, they need to sell these properties. Now, I don't like to wait till a property goes on the market. I like to find it before it's on the market, and you have to look for signs of distress. So just like me and Zach teach you at freewholesaling.com on how to find motivated sellers leads, off market, direct to seller that needs to sell. We're going to change one variable up on this. You're not going to go quite direct to seller because I'm going to teach you how to utilize the property management agent to get the best deal possible. Now, I know I've said that by removing one of those variables, it lowers your odds, but you make up for it in volume. 500 to 1,000 properties, that would be great. Now, a property management company has 500 rental properties they're dealing with. It's usually 2.5 employees that manage it. That's right, I said that. And these phones ring all day long between tenant issues, vendors, and landlords, and it's a lot of work. So I want to run you through the numbers right now to give you an understanding of why this list is so valuable. So we told you it's a lead funnel. So when people buy their properties, they market the property management, hands-free, it's easy, which leads to buying opportunities and selling opportunities, which ultimately leads to a commission opportunity for the real estate agency, the brokers, and the agents. That's why there's rentals. I always scratch my head and go, why do these people deal with rentals? It doesn't seem that profitable. It actually is, but they got to have structure in it. So on average, 500 properties, on average, a minimum 10% of them are going to be vacant. So if they have 500, that's 50 properties are vacant. Once they're vacant, I always have a great shot at getting those deals. So that would be my favorite sweet point and start marketing to those. The second one is understand about 5% of these properties are listed. Now, if you like doing on-market properties, this would be my exception of ones you can actually chase down. The problem is they're already on market. So the question is, how motivated is the seller to get a great deal? That's one tactic I do like on on-market properties. But the real sweet spot is the last 2 to 3%. So we've gone from 10 to 5 to 2 to 3%. And these are what we call the absolute problematic properties. They can't rent them. The landlord won't put any money into it. And the property management company, guess what? They're making zero money. And at some point, the broker's going to come down and goes, you need to get rid of these 4 or 5 properties. They're making us absolutely no money. They're actually costing us money. Can you reach out to the seller and convince them to get the property sold? Now, a lot of these sellers go, I don't want to list it. I don't want to pay real estate agent fees. You know where I'm going with this. Think about this. The seller doesn't want to pay real estate agent fees. They have no more cash flow. The property's run down. There's no tenants. No tenants want to move into it. And the property manager is losing their freaking mind over this property. So if a property management company has a book of 500 rentals, on average, 3% of them are that fit this mold, what I call problematic. That's 15 properties that ideally need to be sold. So I've given you 3 ways to attack the property management. The vacancies, about 10%. The listings, about 5% on all market properties. And then the 3% that are just what I call problematic properties. Now, I know you say, Rick, that's all and great, but we're not direct to seller. You're right. And I'm going to show you how to increase your probability to make these deals stick. Number 1, you have to form a relationship with these property managers. Now, keep in mind, they're all licensed real estate agents. They technically have to be. I'm not going to get into the laws of it, but they are transacting on property and representing buyers and sellers, so it's just easier. And number 2, their entire goal is to move up the corporate ladder and become just this incredible real estate agent for the most part. And the best way they can do it is when their broker says, get that property sold, the best way to approach a seller on a problematic property like this, especially a landlord, is present them a cash offer with no strings attached. Now, they're not all going to take it. I'm realistic, but eventually if I got 15, I can probably find 1 or 2 that will take my offer. The key is I can't present it and I know it. I have to befriend the property management representative and I have to connect with them. So before you do this, you're going to have to find a way to get a relationship with them. You bring them donuts, you bring them an office lunch, you go out to lunch with them, you get them a gift card, whatever you need to do. And once you have some sort of personal connection, I'm telling you, they will sing like a songbird for you. They will tell you the problematic properties, the ones that drive them crazy. And here's the piece that ties it all together. Once you connect with them, You don't have to talk to them every day. Stop by every other week, twice a month. They will present opportunities to you. And what you're going to do is pay them their full commission. Just like you do on a real estate agent, they can represent you, they can represent the seller, and they get paid their full commission. Now, keep in mind, a lot of them are being paid from $12 to $20 an hour, and you can get them a $5,000 to $8,000 commission check and get rid of a problem that they just can't cure. And their boss says, get rid of it no matter what. Let's move on. Let's find clients that will actually pay us. We are creating what we call a win-win-win situation. Everybody wins. But guys, these lists aren't easy to get. I don't even hide it from you. You are going to have to invest a serious amount of time. You're going to have to, if you cannot connect with them, you're wasting your time. So when you connect with them, when you're hanging out with them, when you're going to a movie or you're going to lunch or you're bringing them donuts and you're talking about personal things in your life, that's how you know you have a connection. You're going to use that same philosophy I teach you on how to connect with a motivated seller. You're going to use the same strategy when you deal with the property management agents. So what you want to do is approach the agent once you've done the connection. If you haven't done the connection, don't even waste your time. And you're going to do the with them. What's in it for me? And it's simple. We're going to get rid of this headache for you. We're going to make you look like the hero to your boss. We're going to stop those nagging calls from tenants saying the property is a piece of junk. And most importantly, we can get rid of that landlord that will not fix up the property and keeps driving you nuts because they won't do the repairs, but they want full market rental rate. And you can give them a cash offer that solves the problem. But remember, they have to convince and sell the seller on it. And honestly, they already have the relationship with the seller. So this is the one exception where you can go not direct to seller, but as long as you have a relationship with that property management agent, you'll be shocked how many deals you can find. And guys, every town has these. In fact, some towns have much larger portfolios. Now, some of them are really hard to get into, and I get that. But for the most part, they're usually involved in a real estate team, an office, and they're usually pretty open to talking to you. I don't go in and represent myself as a wholesaler. I just introduce myself saying, look, I'm looking to buy a few deals for cash in the area if something comes around. And then I gradually work my relationship up to the point where they are trading information and giving me great opportunities. Guys, why are you overlooking this strategy? I deal with at least 5 or 6 offices in my local area, and they constantly hunt deals down for me. They tell me the problematic properties, they tell me the vacant properties, and they tell me the ones that are just about to be listed. And if I can attack all 3 on this private special list I'm sharing with you on this video, you can do some amazing, amazing things in wholesaling. Now, once again, this ain't gonna be easy. I never said it's gonna be easy, but if you can crack that code and form that relationship with the property management employees, the agents in particular, the sky's the limit. And guys, this is a great way to collect rental properties. Now, in my opinion, once they're already set up as rentals, they are best to sell to like a landlord type rental, unless you want to keep them for yourselves. But guys, let me know in the comments, are you using property management leads to increase your lead flow in your wholesaling business? Let me know if you've had success doing it. Guys, it makes sense. It is a fundamental part of real estate. And that's why wholesalers always seek out the most problematic properties that need to get sold. And why not utilize property management agents to bring you wholesale opportunities? Guys, get to work. I didn't say it was going to be easy, but if you put in the work and you consistently do this, you will add a ton of deals to your wholesaling pipeline. And remember, the more opportunities you have, the more chance you have to make a ton of money in wholesaling. So let's get to it. Go out there and get your property managements. Let me know in the comments if you're utilizing it. And as usual, if you got value from this video, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's share the truth out about wholesaling. So you guys see you in the next video.